Greetings, this is Vane and welcome to a new Let's Play for my channel. This is Hammerting. Just going to turn the audio down a bit more. Okay. So, that should be okay. Hammerting appeared in the July Humble Choice. Just after I'd finished Evil Genius 2. And I was kind of twiddling my thumbs thinking about what I was going to do next. I had some plans. I mean, I was considering doing basically another Civ 6 game, but then I got into playing this, and after a week of pretty much playing this non-stop for, well, solidly we're looking at almost like 12 hours a day, because I would just lose hours doing it. It was quite clear that I should definitely be doing a Let's Play of this game. It's in early access. It's been in early access since 2019. I think COVID may have screwed a few things up, but hopefully they'll be back on track by now. And I've seen some of the early coverage of Hammerting early access, and quite frankly, it's one of those games where I hope that they really do manage to bring this up to speed. I mean, we're only on 0.4 at the moment. Well, 0.4.0.32, and it's already looking to be, or I say looking to be, it already is a great game. They just need to finish it off with some of the assets and work on some of the few things, maybe expand it a bit more, and well, it will be a smash hit for anyone who likes this sort of game. So what sort of game is it? Well, for any, basically the best way I've described this to people is it's Terraria meets Terraria meets Oxygen Not Included meets Dwarves. That's the best way to put it. But the best, as Avak would say, one of the many Let's Players who have inspired me over the years, sometimes it's better to show than it is to tell. And while I'm doing shout outs, I'm going to give a shout out to Oro, who, as a massive Dwarf fan, will definitely get a kick out of this series. There's lots of lore, so I intend to do lots of reading. Okay, so we are going to start. I'm going to put the enemy difficulty at 0. I'm going to turn off enemy waves so we won't get ambushed. And I'm going to reduce the mountain size. This is going to be a very, very simple playthrough. I mean, I've done it on massive maps with very hard difficulty enemies and enemy waves, and the game is awesome, basically. But because I want to try and get this done to show off, and some sort of idea of actually completing a map, we're gonna make it small and easy, and not worry so much about combat. Okay, somewhere in the Mara mountain range, on the cold and foreboding peak of Mount Kraz Farum, a colony of dwarves prepares to establish itself in a place otherwise long abandoned by their kind. Support the League of Methys in the Great War on the Overworld, and unravel the mysteries of a mountain varying with each playthrough. So our colony name is going to be Tel Zavgar. I've kept it as random, and the map seed is West Rafkeld. So that sounds interesting. Okay, I am going to be reading the tutorial, which has advanced a little bit. There's been more than a few changes, so the first few episodes might be a bit slow. You control a colony of dwarves, aiming to establish themselves in the mountain, and to support their faction in the Great War raging on the Overworld. To do this, you must dig, mine, build, and craft. Build a quarry and explore until you amass sufficient mountain lore to acquire the knowledge of metallurgy. And construct a small foundry. Continue to trade, explore, and acquire new knowledge for further progress. Okay, this is the top left bar, where you can see the status of your Mountainhome. Okay. Use these buttons to reach the Overworld map, research new technologies, or manage your Mountainhome. In this area you can see how much coin, lore and dwarves you have. The right top bar displays time related information. Use the speed control to pause, resume or speed up the game. This is the current date in the game, so we start on Fardan, the 1st of the 1st 4th. Here you can find buttons for the Book of Kings, where you can learn more about the game, and the main menu. Down here you'll find the action menu. From this menu you can make orders for your dwarves. If you want a specific dwarf to carry out an order, left click on the dwarf before issuing an order. Use the infrastructure and rooms section to expand your base. They will bring you more options as you research. Finally, we've got the outliner, which lists your dwarves, rooms, missions and alerts. Go forth. The sound of footsteps approaches from the entrance. Your adventure is about to start. Expand your Mountainhome and help your allies in the Overworld. A suggestion is to follow the cave missions found in the outliner if you should feel lost. May your riches ever be bountiful. Good luck. Okay. So, zooming out, this is what we can see. This is the bit that we've explored. Quite a big cavern. Quite a lot of options. And of course, we've got a few things. So, be using pause and play a lot as I go through this. We start with some braziers. A flame burning brightly in the darkness of the mine to warm and light the way. Okay, we have the great entrance is the portal which connects our world of rock and stone to the sunlit world above. And we'll explore the overworld soon enough. The Great Mountainhome Chest. The great chest we brought with us when we established the Mountainhome, now serving as a drop-off point for exports and imports to and from the world beyond our halls. Finally, the Great Overworld Map. The Great Map is our eye overlooking the vast expanses of the world beyond our graven halls. Here we can contract missions for the various factions vying for control over the world and keep watch over the tides of war and peace. Okay, so couple of bits going on here, and our dwarves haven't arrived yet, but let's have a look what we got. We got 5 coin. The mountain hoard is the sum total of coin available in the Mountainhome and its vaults, acting as a communal account from which the dwarves will withdraw wages whenever their greed reaches precarious levels. Coin is denominated in a tri-metallic standard. 1 gold coin equals 100 silver coins, which equals 10,000 copper coins. The mountain hoard has a maximum limit which can be increased by building more vaults. When there is too much coin, some of it will be wasted. Our current limit, 5 silver coin. Okay. We have mountain lore. Knowledge of the mountain is the first thing we learn, and from it all other knowledge flows. Increase our mountain lore by exploring the mountain. Okay. Trade lore. Knowledge of the world beyond our halls comes to us chiefly by the trade winds that carry goods to and from. Increase our trade lore by trading and completing missions. Finally, we have Dwarves and Sovereignty. The Mountainhome currently commands 0 dwarves, and could, with current sovereignty, command 5 dwarves. Okay, so let's see what missions we've got. We have cave missions. Ancient Omen. Somewhere far beneath mounds of rock, old as the ages, an ancient presence, an ominous artifact of great portent, can be felt as tremors in the marrow of every dwarf in the mountain. Perhaps it is it who has called us here. Should we secure this ancient relic, its unimaginable power shall surely be ours to command. For the glory of our mountain home, locate the god of the forge. That's kind of like the win condition for the game, I believe. Not that I've ever achieved it. Despite hours upon hours upon hours of playing and replaying this game, I mean, the amount of variation is staggering. And even I still haven't explored everything this game has. Okay, stone from stone. For the glory of our clans and for ourselves, we have broken through the mountainside here at cold, forbidding Mount Farum. Our first priority must be to establish a secure foothold in the rock, and the stone of these halls we now call home. Let us construct a small quarry and try our hands at quarrying some rock, for which we need to construct a small quarry. Quarry is a primary production site of the mountain home and allows us to construct various building materials made from the stone. Construct a small quarry from the rooms menu. Okay. And then we can craft 10 granite chunks. Chunks of granite are the primary unit of stone, and most other stone resources are produced from them. Click the stone quarry we built and issue an order to craft 10 chunks of granite. Okay. Sounding the depths. In order to thrive in the mountain, we must constantly strive to increase our understanding, both of it and of the natural and supernatural worlds which define it. Explore the mountain to earn mountain lore and use it to acquire the knowledge of metallurgy. So, acquire 10 mountain lore. As we move through the pitch and uncover new areas of the mountain, we will accumulate more intimate knowledge of it in the form of mountain lore. Explore the surrounding by ordering your clansmen deeper into the darkness. Learn metallurgy. The knowledge of metallurgy is an important first step on our way to establishing a dwarven colony worth its copper, and allows us to construct foundries to smelt ore. With sufficient mountain lore earned from exploration, we can acquire the knowledge of metallurgy from the knowledge screen. Finally, we have Overworld mission. We must establish relations with the nearest settlement in order to expand our knowledge and reach in the overworld. Increase the indicated value to complete the mission. So we don't get much about what trade level is other than just trading. And we'll get to that soon enough. But for now we have... So in our mountain chest we have 5 Dwarven Sweet Cake, which restores energy. 5 gauze to restore health. 5 water restore morale. And it looks like 10 blocks of granite, which restores building health. So let's have a look at what we've got. Dwarven Sweet Cake. A roll of soft thin cloth to stem any bleeding and close any wound. A pint of fresh, life-giving water gathered from somewhere in the dripping damp of the mountain. And a useful building block for the various rooms that dot the cavern halls of dwarven settlements. So that's what we've got to start with. And we start with 3 dwarves. We'll let them turn up. Okay. Ooh, what do we want to do first? Well, first, let's get some more dwarves. We've got room for more dwarves. More dwarves means more people, so let's do that. Bolster your ranks with new eager dwarves. And we're just going to buy dwarves as we can afford them. So, there you go, not even looking. Okay, first thing we want to do, construct a small quarry. So we go to the rooms menu, which is this one here. Small quarry. Require 2 blocks of granite so we can build that. A small quarry in operation for the extraction of stone from the mountain is often useful when laying down the first structures of a mountain home. Be nice, and let's put that right next to our entrance, and we'll get them working on that. Meanwhile, we will look at the tutorials and see if they provide. They're a little slow, so I will be progressing as if I already knew them, but I will read them out. Because these tutorials, you can see some of the changes that have happened, especially in the UI. For example, the UI top bar. The main interface contains the top bar where some of the primary information about your mountain home can be found, such as the speed controls, the mountain home treasury, the war progress bar, and buttons for submenus like knowledge, the overworld and the ledger. You'll be able to find the Book of Things here should you ever wish to read the help topics again. You'll notice that this image is different because the UI has been changed over various versions. Okay, speed controls set the current game speed. You can also pause the game with them. Yep. They're actually over here now. The Mountain Home Treasury displays the amount of coin currently resting safely in our coffers. One coin is denominated in gold, silver and copper, with 1 gold having the value of 100 silver and 1 silver having the value of 100 copper. Dwarves will occasionally claim some amount of coin for themselves to satiate their greed, and hence it is important to maintain ample supplies. Yes. The War Progress meter displays our progress in the Great Overworld War. The more locations we aid in the League of Mephis in conquering, the better we will fare. We win the game if all locations are currently held by the League. Now, I'm not sure about the War Progress bar. That's kind of disappeared as they've kind of changed what's happening on the Overworld and how it works. So, but there is stuff about war and world going on, so we'll see more about that. But for now, the main game is mostly about the mountain rather than the war. Additionally, the top bar also holds various buttons useful for accessing the sub-menus and information screens for the game. Here you can find buttons for knowledge, the overworld, the logbook, the ledger and the Book of Things. So that was useful. Okay, so we've constructed our small quarry. Let's have a look. Okay, need to craft 10 chunks. A unit of granite, cold, unforgiving, and silent in the mountain from which it was hewn. Myth holds that granite was the first material sprung forth from non-being at the dawn of time. Okay, well, we can choose to maintain amounts. So at the moment we're not maintaining, so if we craft 10, we will craft 10 and stop. We can maintain an amount in a mountain home, so it's like, okay, we want to make sure that there's always that much there. The production remains here, where there's that amount in, and we can always do maintain amount in the building inventory. So it's like, okay, it only counts this inventory. For now, we're going to maintain the amount in the mountain home. We want to make sure that we are going to craft 10 chunks. We press shift for 5. I want to make sure there's 10 chunks of granite at all times. and we're going to increase the job priority to high, because we want to make sure that crafting, which spawns everything else pretty much, is what our dwarves will concentrate on first. It does kind of slow down things like exploration when you've got a few dwarves and too many things being crafted, but it does mean that the stuff you want gets done first. And obviously it also means we can facilitate things like trading because we have more stuff to craft. So let's get that done. Okay. The dwarf will go and start crafting. Okay, check to see if we've got more dwarves yet. No. Fortunately, there isn't an icon for when we've got dwarves available, which is a shame. That would be helpful. If developers actually get round to watching this, then please, that might be something that's worth including. But we got a new quest, Faraway Lands. Okay. The important part of the well-being of our new Mountainhome will be to maintain relations with the various factions on the overworld beyond our halls. To do so, we must aid and trade with various locations dotting the known world above. So we need to accept an overworld mission. Click the Great Overworld map near the great entrance we came through to view the overworld and accept a mission from a nearby settlement. There is one. And complete an overworld. Once all the resources required by the mission you have accepted have been delivered to the great chest, you can click to complete the mission on the overworld outliner or in the mission description on the overworld map. These haven't been updated. There are other ways of doing it. It kind of does it automatically. So we will probably be leaving that one now. Okay, so let's get some exploring. Now, basically, we want to explore beyond what's going on, and for now we're going to, although we could explore like up here and over here once we've figured out what we're doing, let's just stick with the nice simple, let's just see what's going. The first thing to do is move. So let's get some movement going. We only need 10, so we're going to explore until we've got 10. See what we can find. As you can see, as we move, we gain mountain lore. We also gain some from completing our first mission, which is good. So it shouldn't take too long. And there we go. We've got 10. We've not acquired 7 yet, so we still need some more. Every little bit helps. And let's look at some dwarves. Hardy folk sprung from the mountain itself in an age bygone, the dwarves are defined by their clans and professions and united in a common mission to delve ever deeper. Dwarves have 5 primary attributes. The dwarf attributes, namely deftness, wisdom, awareness, robustness and fervour. Increasing any of the attributes by levelling up will allow the dwarves to excel at their various professions found in the Professions and Skill tab of their interface. The health and wealth of a dwarf is determined by its 4 status bars: health, energy, morale and greed. Providing for each of these needs of the dwarves is essential to maintaining a healthy mountain home. Should greed run out, morale will drain faster. Should morale run out, energy will drain faster. Should energy run out, health will be drained. Should a dwarf run out of health, it will become unconscious and require resuscitation by another dwarf in order not to die. Okay. So, we're going to carry on exploring, because it shouldn't take us too long to acquire the extra. Okay. I mean, I could explore with more than one dwarf, but to be honest, can't be bothered. Okay, we're a bit short there, so we'll leave you there and explore the other way. It's a good idea to try and find out what we are working with. Okay, and there's our 10 metallurgy. Now I'm going to take a quick... Oh, we have another dwarf. Okay, so we'll hire you. I said I'd order you in order. Hire you in order. So we'll wait for her to turn up. Or did I dismiss you? I think I dismissed you by mistake. Oh well, never mind. Because it didn't take the money and I miscomplete. Oh well, we won't know about her then. Yeah, we don't want her. If she was good or bad, don't really care. But let's look at our dwarfs. Okay. First off, we have Rista Pyapaus, or Pals, however you pronounce it. Very Nordic. Okay, we have the level, experience bar. In the early game, every time you got experience, you would be able to increase attributes, and that was your main reason for leveling up. However, that has been changed now heavily to the fact that every 5 levels we get a talent point, and we'll explore those later. Okay, we have what they're doing, which is idling at the moment. We have their clan, and Rista belongs to Clan Diamond Wheel. Clan Diamond Wheel was historically the most numerous of the dwarven clans until a rift along family lines in the 4th Aeon caused the splintering of the clan into the Diamond Wheels and the Tough Brows, with both clans coming to claim true lineage from Old King Alfred Cazalsbane. Clan Diamond Wheel to this day occupies the ancient hold of the two clans once united, situated as a watchful sentinel overlooking the Cleft Rend Pass, where the caravan rode from Ogor spill into the desert race of Barras. The Diamond Wheels are known for their fervour, acquired over many ages of holding the first shield walk in defence of the eastern nations against the Orcish hordes that with terrifying force and regularly clash from the deep Ogormark. So, as a Clan Diamond Wheel, she gets +2 fervour, and her morale gain is increased by 0.01, which seems small, but basically what it means is all dwarves lose at a steady rate, and I think that starts at around 0.06. And so basically morale gains slow the rate that morale is lost up to a maximum of 0.001 lost per tick or whatever. So basically morale gain means you're actually losing morale slower. It's a bit counterintuitive, but to make sure it's clear that it's a bonus, they put it as a morale gain, and as the penalties are morale loss, which increases the rate, because eventually these bars need filling up, which we will get to next. We have greed. A healthy dwarf has a healthy amount of greed. If they do not feel in the presence of enough coins, they will start to decline. Fill up the greed meter by filling up the Mountainhome with coins for them to bring back to their dwellings. So it's a kind of wage system. As they go down, they will take coins to refill, and basically that will do. Because of the higher greed, Rista has everything glimmers with gold. To the eyes of this dwarf, the entire Mountainhome has recently taken on a mysterious glimmer of gold, its own hoard reflected in every nook and cranny. and it now wanders around in a joyful stupor because of it. So, morale gain is reduced by 2, or increased by +2, so its morale is reduced by 2, and all profession critical successes are increased by 20%. Okay, morale. Important for a dwarf to maintain a high spirit and to be able to perform at top level. If this goes too low, make sure you have enough ale on tap, or failing that, water. Now, Rissa has, because of her extremely high morale, has indomitable resolve. Energy gain +3, greed gain +1, morale gain +3. So basically, because of her resolve, everything is being reduced slower. The only thing that doesn't reduce over time is health. That reduces under combat, unless you're out of energy. The deep satisfaction of this dwarf has derived from its surroundings and circumstances has put its earthly needs on temporary hold, and he feels an indomitable resolve to tackle anything the deep darkness can throw at it. Okay, energy. Low energy will soon start to affect health. Make sure to send low energy dwarves to the tavern, or just let them have a quick snack at the cookhouse. Rista has high energy, and as such, she is having a creative surge, which means all profession critical failures are reduced by 20%, and all profession critical successes are increased by 50%. Energized to the higher mountains from some combination of rest and recuperation, a creative surge has befallen this dwarf, and he feels like he could succeed marvellously at anything he tries his hand at. Finally, we have health. Doesn't grant us anything. It's just a case of whether we live or die or not. If health goes down too much, the dwarf will die. When a dwarf dies, they can no longer work. Sadness and lower productivity will ensue. Health potions and some food can help keep your dwarves working and staying alive. So we have, okay, the clan. We have seen that there's effects from their energy levels. They also have traits which can be good or bad. For example, Rista is emaciated. Okay, robustness is -2, so she's less robust, and her energy gain is 0.01 faster than normal. Perhaps now malnourished as a youngling, perhaps having lived in a hold haunted by the ghost of famine, this dwarf is nothing but skin and bones. Okay, so that's not a good one, but we ended up starting with her, so what can we do? But she has a sense of humour. A twinkle in the eye, a quick-witted pun well delivered are telltale signs of this dwarf. So she gets awareness +2, and her morale gain is increased by 0.01. So she's actually got, well, no, it looks like it can go positive in some cases. In this case, she's actually gaining morale because, although through all the benefits, although if you look at it, that is 0.03, 0.05, 0.06, 0.07. So I think they start on they lose 0.05, and it actually can increase. I've never actually had that many bonuses, so she's going to be quite happy. So I mean, it's a bit like RimWorld with the sort of traits mechanic, if you've seen that. Let's move down to stats. Basically, got movement speed, climbing speed, vision range, experience gain, and full damage resistance. And these are all kind of based off of attributes and various traits. For example, we have deafness. Deafness basically increases energy. It also increases climbing speed, falling damage resistance and moving speed, and it increases production in various professions, which is built in this for deafness is building, combat, cooking, exploration, tailoring, and whitesmithing. Wisdom increases greed, which is good because it means that they can take more coins and it's longer before they need to refill it. And increases their production in arcane, farming, healing, metallurgy, trading, and whitesmithing. Awareness increases a vision range and increases production in arcane, cooking, exploration, stonemasonry, and tailoring. Robustness increases health, but reduces climbing speed, falling damage resistance, and movement speed. Basically, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, and it sort of counters deafness. Now she's at the pure minimum because of because she's emaciated and has lost, so she'd actually be less than 1 if there wasn't a minimum. Finally, we have fervor, but that's robustness, as well as that blacksmithing, building, farming, hauling, mining, and stonemasonry. So basically, stuff that builds up strength. Finally, we have fervor, which increases morale, and it increases production in blacksmithing, combat, hauling, healing, metallurgy, mining, and trading. Okay, let's come down here, and we have tools. Basically, so you can look and see what upgrades and whatnot. Everyone starts with these same tools though, and they will upgrade tools for that profession. In this case, all starting tools are straight grandfather's copper lights. I think it's lights, yeah. Straight grandfather's copper quality, a light pickaxe. Now, grandfather's is a worn out and tired old pickaxe ready to strike its last blows against rock and stone. That is your starting level. And okay, straight refers to the handle, which is a straight handle. You can build various handles as you level up, as you get more research. And copper is the material it's made from. And the light pickaxe bit comes from the tool head, which defines what tool it is. So it's built from basically a material, a handle, and a tool head. Everyone starts with that. We also have a hatchet axe of the same quality, which is basically a combat weapon. You don't really get to chop wood and stuff like that here much, and basically deals with how much damage it can do. And then we have the sledgehammer, which is used for blacksmithing, building, and metallurgy. Everyone starts with that. Okay, and because you need those tools for any of those jobs. Once we start creating our own tools, we will upgrade those away from grandfather quality. And finally, we get the professions, which basically define everything that a dwarf can do. They will have levels in professions based on their experience of doing that profession. And every bit of experience they get in a profession also goes up to their general experience up the top. So the more someone works as a stonemason, for example, the better they will get at being a stonemason. Okay, so let's look at these. We have hauler. This one starts at the top because this is bearers, carriers, and movers. Accomplished haulers carry the goods produced by the Mountainhome to and fro and bring the vast riches of the mountains to wherever they are needed, from gold to the coffers, food to the hungry, and beer to the thirsty, to eventually carrying every dwarf at the end of its life to the cold of the tomb. So that's basically how much they can carry. As you can see, hauling capacity, which equates up to here. And with the weight that she's already got, for these, she's mostly used. She's not a very good hauler, but that's... Stonemason. Hewers, cutters, hewers and bricklayers, accomplished stonemasons cut and refine the cold mountain from the unpolished rough left behind by miners to the smooth and decorated fine, the highest halls of dwarven kind, and provide building materials statuary, and for every dwarf eventually tombstones for the exaltation, adornment and living memory of the Mountainhome. Tailor. Reavers, seamsters and clothiers, accomplished tailors clothe and drape the Mountainhome in fabrics of leather, wool and fine silks, to gild it with pride and glory, to keep cold of the mountain from dwarven bones, to soften the touch of stone uncut, and to clad warriors in the stout gambesons worthy of a dwarven hold. Whitesmith. Gilders, jewellers and artisans, accomplished whitesmiths are the noblest artisans known to dwarf, working with only the finest rare metals and gems to forge powerful artifacts, weapons and armour for the defence and advancement of the Mountainhome, and to produce a significant amount of the exports so desperately needed to secure a steady provisions of overworld goods. Okay. Miner. Excavators, diggers and prospectors, accomplished miners, are the first and last professionals of dwarven kind, responsible for the first carving of the Mountainhome from stone uncut, and for the last collapsing of the central mine supports to crush advancing orcish hordes under leagues of rock, and return a once proud Mountainhome to primordial silence once again. Okay. Scouts, pathfinders and cartographers, accomplished explorers, are the first to brave the darkness of the unknown depths below, to find new cracks through which the light of dwarven culture can seep into ever deeper mines and chasms, and to locate those previously untouched treasures of the unfathomable pit far beneath the mountains. Arcanist. Scholars, learned dwarves and researchers. Accomplished arcanists are all miners in the dwarves, all miners in the world of forms and ideas, and spend their days poring over everything from ore and mine samples to ancient artifacts and tomes of forgotten lore, always delving deeper and more greedily after new knowledge and insight. So they're essentially your scientists. Traders. Now the trader description is actually the same as a hauler, but it's basically a hauler for overworld goods in a sense, and also I think has some little effect on kind of how much profit you're going to get and stuff like that. Cook. Chefs, bakers and butchers. Accomplished cooks are furnace workers in the realm of the flesh, performing invaluable services in providing for the sustenance of clan and kin, and allow, by delving ever deeper into pantries and larders, the Mountainhome to delve ever deeper into earth and stone. Militia. Guardsmen, warriors, and anyone strong enough to wield a weapon develop their first fighting skills in the Mountainhome militia, called upon as the first and last line of defence whenever the Mountainhome is threatened. And that's basically the combat skill, or combat profession. The more they fight, the better they come in the militia. Metallurgist. Workers in forges, foundries, and smelters. Accomplished metallurgists are those who pour the endless streams of glowing, flowing, and red-hot metal that hold the very sinews, bones, and muscles of the dwarven body politic together, and who cast the future of the Mountainhome in every batch of ore turned copper, iron, or gold. Healer. Doctors, medics, and nurses. Accomplished healers mend and tend to wounds suffered, set broken bones in place, and comfort the weary and broken, to provide for the Mountainhome sound minds in a sound body politic, to maintain and preserve its health and wealth, to keep death away from her halls, and to always first do no harm. Builder. Architects, designers and constructors. Accomplished builders raise the foundations and edifices of the Mountainhome from the clean slate of freshly hewn granite to the towering heights and terrible depths of ancient dwarven holds, laying with every strike of the hammer brick upon brick for the glory of dwarven kind. Blacksmith. Craftsmen, forge workers and artificers. Accomplished blacksmiths are among the most valued and time-honoured professionals in dwarven kind, forging with every strike of hammer over anvil everything from weapons to pickaxes to the very beams that carry the terrible weight of mountain on high, and hold the world of dwarves aloft and alive. Not quite true. Okay. And finally, farmers. Sowers, growers and reapers. Accomplished farmers are those who mine the rich bounties of the soil in their varying organic forms, provide the fecundity for food and fibre upon which the Mountainhome subsists, and who cause the roots of dwarven culture to sink deep into the dark eternal of the mountain. So those are the professions. That's gone over everything. If you remember, we have Rista from Clan Diamond Wheel, who's emaciated and has a sense of humour. Our 4 other dwarves, we're going to ignore the 5th one I accidentally dismissed. She never existed. We have Arnulf Ignimatunga. Okay. Who is from Clan Rockcrusher. In fact, I believe all of the other 3 are from Clan Rockcrusher, which Clan Rockcrusher reaves the tale of how cosmos emanated, at the beginning of all things, from the crushing of the Earthstone, of which all apparent forms are mere imperfect shards. Hailing from the Barazi Northmark, and renowned for their strength and intimate understanding of mineralogy, rock crushers tend to be rough in outlook and craftsmanship, and often find employment as miners, soldiers, or mercenaries. So they have increased miner levels, and their fervour is increased by 1, and their robustness increased by 2. So we've got a lot of highly fervorous, highly robust dwarves in this clan, who are going to be very good at mining. We look at how the greed doing. Okay, you've seen this one. Everything glimmers with gold. Okay, morale. 1 with the mountain. The incredible well-being of this dwarf has lately caused it to feel as if it were one with a mountain, moving deftly around its nooks and crannies and enjoying great success at almost everything it tries its hands at. So, being one with a mountain, all professional critical successes are increased by 10%, deafness is increased by 1, and movement speed is increased by 5%. Energy, we have another creative surge. But for Arnulf's traits, he's as tough as nails. This dwarf is tough as nails, and an inordinate amount of physical force is required to move or shake it. That increases robustness by 2, and increases maximum health by 250. Arnulf's also a glutton. This dwarf is never full, and rumour has it that once devoured a cookhouse whole, cook, ladle and sink. Maximum energy is reduced by 250, so he needs to eat more food to gain more energy, and energy gain is reduced by 0.01, so he loses energy faster. And snake eyes. Malformed thinness of the pupils of this dwarf causes immediate unease in those who interact with it. It reduces their awareness by 1. Greed gain is reduced by 0.01, so they need more greed. More coins, because, envy, I guess. You can see that they're pretty much almost coming close to level 2. See, our other dwarf is Enar Mosbran, also from Clan Rockcrusher. See, greed. Rich like a troll. Since coming into present fortune, this dwarf has felt rich like a troll, and mysteriously also come to acquire something of a troll's strength as a result of it. So, robustness is increased by 2, greed gain is increased by 0.02. So they become tougher, and greed is reduced slower. Morale, indomitable resolve, we've seen that. But energy is a whizzing dynamo. All profession speeds increase by 10%. Their deafness is increased by 2. Movement speed is increased by 30%. This dwarf is buzzing with energy and executes any and all tasks with the speeds of a Sakafi fire lizard. Okay, finally we have, I believe, Amma Scarpland. Okay. Did we look at your... No, we didn't look at your traits. We forgot your traits. Okay, educated for... I know is educated, so his wisdom is increased by 1. Given a good education as a youngling, this dwarf possesses a more than ordinary knowledge. Pretty good. Born of stone. No one knows where this dwarf came from, and it's as if one day just appeared, born from the stones themselves. Increases their robustness, and their minor level is increased by 3, which gives him a whopping minor level of 9. So, I'm thinking it's safe to say that he's going to be a very good miner. Okay. Finally, we have Amma. Greed. Morale. And energy. All done. Let's have a look. Clumpenfoot. This dwarf has deformed feet and shuffles about only with some difficulty, reducing deafness by 2 and then movement speed by 10%. Okay. But Amma is driven. This dwarf drives through challenges like a steel pickaxe through dry dirt. Maximum energy is increased by 200. Fervor is increased by 1. And robustness increased by 2. So she's not that she's just a little bit slower than everyone else. Now, I've done a lot of reading. So what I am going to do is save it here. And actually I will scroll out and show you just so that we can see how much we've explored for now. Going to save it here. This will be LP1. I hope you like what you're seeing here. This has been Vane doing Hammerting Early Access. If you like what you're seeing here, be sure to like, subscribe, share and comment. Please consider sponsoring me on Patreon. And until next time, goodbye.